humans, and welcome to Getting Gamers, your guide to understanding the gamers in your life. I am Juke, my pronouns are they, them, and today we are talking about the terms Noob, BM, GG, GLHF, and WP. But first, let me introduce today's guest, Perf.
Hi, this is me. My full gamer tag is Perfection.
Perf is my boyfriend. His full gamer tag is indeed Perfection, but he goes by Perf, slightly more modest. So, before we get into our topics, tell us about your gamer tag and your journey with your gamer tags and how you came up with them.
Sure. My very first gamer tag was my own name. At first, I didn't understand correctly the concept of a gamer tag, so that's why I ended up using my real name. And then my first real gamer tag was godlike. And then I had various ways to write it down. And then after having some feedbacks from my friends, that it was not so original or maybe not modest enough. So I decided to downgrade it a bit, and that's why Perfection came out. I am called Perf by most of them now.
Yeah, so my experience of learning about gamer tags and really seeing how it is used in day-to-day life is getting to meet Perf's friends, and really, even though his gamer tag was something as cocky as Perfection and godlike, his friends call him Perf. Like, even friends that he's known since high school or since college call him Perf when they're chilling. He still has some friends that do call him Gaudy, like godlike, Gaudy, stuff like that. And these are people that knew him from outside of the gaming sphere too, like from work, from college, from other places, but still used the gamer tag as his nickname, even though it was something that people might find more like outrageous or like no one's ever going to call you that. But it's so common to use gamer tags as nicknames that even something like Perfection or godlike, they still use it, and it feels so normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first term that we should cover is the term noob, because in episode 1 of the podcast I mentioned that I'm a noob, and I think it's a term that is pretty common even in the non-gaming world. People started using noob a lot.
For sure comes from the gaming world. It's mainly used when someone is very new at the game, but the person doesn't have to be new only. It's not the only characteristic of the person you call a noob. If you can be a long-time gamer on a certain game and just doing a bad play can earn you the noob title, even if it's only for a few seconds. But it's always related to being either new or bad at one game.
And I remember in a game you were helping me with a game called Hearthstone, which we will cover in an upcoming episode. And you were making me a pack of, like a deck, a pack of cards, basically. And I called it like a noob pal, like paladin. And I called my deck, I called it a noob deck. And you were like, oh, well, you don't have to be pejorative. Or wait, is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh my God.
That's right.
And I had never thought of it that way, but yeah, in some situations it is used or seen very negatively.
Oh, it is a negative word for sure. In most cases it is, but if you want to be more polite about it, you just say it's a casual gamer or a new gamer.
Because like for me, I've always been like, yeah, I'm a noob, or this is a noob, or I never saw it as like a negative or mean word. I just saw it as like because I didn't know much about that world, I just thought it was just the way of saying a new player. And I think it took me a long time to understand that like most of the time is pretty negative and pretty pejorative. Even though like if I call myself a noob, I'm not trying to be like pejorative about myself or being like mean about myself in any way. And I think it's it can be common for people to be like, "Oh, I'm a noob," and it'd be like commonly accepted.
Yeah, it is. It is a very widespread used term, and so new or casual gamer call themselves noobs because they know the meaning of it, and it's not as pejorative to use it by yourself, or mainly because you know you're a beginner at something, so
Yeah.
it can be okay, but in most cases it's considered an insult.
Yeah. I think also for like beginner players or new players as such as me, calling yourself a noob kind of makes you feel more included because you're like, "Oh, I know the lingo and like I'm saying a word that's in their sphere of vocabulary." So it makes you feel more included even though normally it's like an attack or an insult, but like using it and saying that you yourself are a noob when you are a noob, like when you are a new player, it kind of makes you feel more included in a sense. But
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's using the gamer terms, so I understand that you feel more included, and we even if we are really good at some games, we call ourselves noobs too when we try a new game and when we are with friends, so it's all good.
But that leads me to, because we were talking about, pejorative and insults and stuff like that, to a term that I did not know existed. Neither did I think that that concept existed in the gaming world. BM. Because in the normal world, when people say BM, it means bowel movement. But in the gaming world, BM means something completely different. And it's something I don't think people know that gamers have in their culture.
To be honest, I thought that BM was also referred as bad manners in real life. But yeah, bad manners it can be just calling someone a noob, even if you don't know the person, can be it is considered being bad manners. And in general, just being toxic, being oppressive, being anything that's negative and related to insulting another gamer is considered bad mannered, and it can be via text message, it can be voice message, or it can be actions that you do towards another player in the game. There's what we call teabagging that can be considered bad manner, which is the action to go up and down on the corpses of an opponent to, well, put your balls in his face. Just by crouching and going up very fast with.
So just that simple, like that simple action of in what I would see as teasing, like you kill the guy and then you go make your character crouch and get up really fast up and down on him. To me, that would look like teasing or whatever, but it could be characterized as bad manners or BM.
If you're with friends, it could be just only teasing. But if you're playing against anyone else, really, especially in competitions, it's considered bad mannered or bad sportsmanship.
Yeah, so that's, I think, something a lot of people are surprised. I remember talking to a lot of other non-gamers about learning about the term BM and people being surprised because that's really not the impression that people have. Like, people forget that if you're gaming, sportsmanship is a huge part of that because a lot of the games you play is playing in a team. But we don't really hear of that aspect. Like, I remember watching a tournament that you guys were having, and it was clear that someone had the win. The other person had a certain amount of life points left, and the other person had the exact amount to attack him. But he was making he was making his final turn last longer than necessary. And I remember you telling me that person was BMing, or that could be considered BM.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think for me, when I saw that, I was like, I don't know if I have like cool cards that I want to play and I didn't get to play them and now I'm about to win. I would just play the card because I'm like, I want to play my cool card. But I don't think about the fact that making the tournament or the game last longer than it needs to be when you know you're going to win is rude. in a sense.
It is. It's showing off that you... Actually, this is what it is. It's only showing off and making it last longer than what it should be. It's a form of disrespect.
Yeah, that was fascinating to me that there was actually a term and a culture around manners and rudeness and respect. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just not what a lot of people that are not in the gaming world expect. Because, well, you like I said in episode 1, gamers really have this reputation for being violent and toxic and stuff like that. So you forget that there are people who care about being polite and people who care about creating a culture around gaming that is actually healthy.
Yeah, but it's just like with any other sports, really. Just politeness rules that we follow like everyone else. It's just a world where, since it's a cyber thing where people can hide behind their nicknames, their gamer tags, they maybe permit themselves to be less polite than in some other sports we know.
But the fact that the term BM exists shows that there's this type of like self-regulating behavior within the community. You're right, it is like sportsmanship, like any sport. At the end of a soccer game or a hockey game, when all the teammates, like the two opposing teams, line up and give each other a fist bump or a handshake, and most of the time they do say good game.
Yeah, that's a good image actually. The GG stands for good game, and it is the fist bump of the gaming world. It's always something, not always, but most of the time, at the beginning of the game and at the end of the game, GG is used as a show of good manners.
Yeah, so I remember someone had lost once in a game, and you said, "Oh, they're sour, they're salty. They didn't say GG at the end of the game," and not saying GG at the end of the game is basically kind of BM.
It is. It is considered so, especially in competitions. It happened at LAN ETS when we defeated one of our opponent, and it was another person from Quebec that we knew and played with, and that's what he did. He just that's another term we use, rage quitting. He rage quitted, didn't say GG, and
I heard about that.
He he just quit the game early, and yeah, this is BM.
Yeah, and so I think GG is also a term that people might know more than other terms. GG being good game, I think that in the non-gaming sphere, it's maybe more known what GG means, but still always important to know. As this podcast is called Getting Gamers, there is a GG theme to this podcast.
You're a genius, my love.
Thank you. So you mentioned it's I've always seen it at the end of games. You mentioned that it's at the beginning of games also, but I've seen a lot at beginning of games, like when we watch Grubby, they'll say GLHF.
Yeah. We see sometimes GG too, but GL and HF stands for good luck, have fun, which are the terms that are mostly used at the beginning of the game. GG is used also, but if you go deeper in our into our terms, GG could also be seen as bad manner at the start of the game.
You're saying like you're cocky, and you're saying like,
yeah, it could be being cocky. Exactly.
Okay, but people do use it just because it's easier to just write GG real fast than writing 4 letters when you're like at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's it. In RTS game, we're gonna probably cover that in another episode. They are a lot more heavier mechanically, so people are just writing GG for what you just said instead of 4 letters.
Yeah, because then it's just typing the same letter twice.
Yeah.
Especially if I think of myself at the beginning of the game, I'm immediately nervous because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have time to be looking at the keyboard and finding 4 different letters. I'm just like, fuck that. But I think for me it was something to get used to not just end the game, but to be like, okay, I ended the game, I click enter, I type GG and I send it. Or if we're playing Hearthstone, I left click on my little person, I send the like well played message before, even if I lost, you know.
Yeah. Even if you lost, that's the point of being good mannered.
Yeah. And yeah, the sportsmanship is way more there than people might expect. And alongside of GLHF and GG, we also see people type WP at the end of games.
Yeah, WP stands for well played, and is also a good manner term.
Yeah, so I rarely have seen, and I don't play a lot or watch a lot, but I rarely see WP alone. I often see it with GG.
Yeah, it's usually GG well played.
Yeah.
Or GG WP. WP. Weepy!
So if there are terms that we have said in this episode that you don't understand, don't worry. We will be covering all of it. But just in case I missed any of it, why don't you write to us on Twitter or on Facebook with the handle Getting Gamers with an S to let us know what terms you don't understand and any other questions that you may have about that side of the world. Make sure to check out our other episodes for any terms we have already covered and our website gettinggamers.com, where we build a glossary that gets updated with each episode. If you yourself are a gamer and you have noticed that I have gotten something wrong, please do not hesitate to write to us too, so that I can make sure that the information I give out is as accurate as possible. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch with the handle Juke_ish, JUKE_ISH. And you can find the podcast on Twitter and on Facebook at Getting Gamers with an S. Perf, is there anywhere people can find you? Not really, right? You're not a public socials person.
No, I'm not, but you could go follow the Loud Ball, which is good recipe reference if you need.
For sure. So loudbowl.com is a good friend of ours. My best friend runs a website about how to make edibles, vegan edibles. She also runs berrybaker.com, which is for vegan French pastry. That is going to be it for today. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Perf, for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
I hope you guys have a good day, and stay tuned. Subscribe for any upcoming episodes. Bye.
GG.
GG. The artwork for this podcast was made by my dear friend Arielle. You can find her on Twitter at ProfitPossum, and you can find her on Instagram at ProfitOpossum. Our intro and outro song is made by David Theslian from TheslianStudios.com.
Job's done.